Hello and welcome to Our Irish Life. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you a bit more about renting in Ireland. I have been doing a lot of these videos lately. It's just when I do them, I do get requests for other places. And while I'm in the frame of mind of looking up that sort of information, I may as well get them done and help a few people out. So as per a request, today I'm going to be covering Galway County. So I have done previous videos, as I mentioned, of different counties, and some of them are quite recent, so if you would like to check them out and they're more applicable to you, then please do. So I'm going to start the video by popping up a map of Galway and just showing you all the different areas. I am not overly familiar with Galway myself. I am from Wexford, but I have visited on a number of occasions and it is a lovely city. So I'll just pop a map up so we can all know where these rental properties are going to be. So then once I've gone through the map of Galway, I will then go on and show you some of the rental properties that are listed as available online at the moment. So I have done the research for this on daft.ie and I did that today, so that's the 28th of November. And there is quite a shortage on rental properties here in Ireland at the moment, so please do note that just because I found them today does not mean that they will be there for a very long time. So just something to take note of. That also leads nicely into the fact that I am also not an expert in this area. So if you are looking into these things, then please double check all the information for yourself. I'm just basically gathering up a few things and putting them into a hopefully easy to listen to format for you, so it may make it a little bit less overwhelming. So yeah, I will post the links I have used below and any other ones that I think would be useful to you just to help you out a little bit as well. Also, unfortunately, I can't use any pictures because I do not have the permissions to do so, but I will be using screenshots and I'll show you the information, I'll tell you the prices and what type of properties there are as well. So before we get into the map of Galway then, I'm just going to tell you a couple of the websites that are useful to use in case you yourself may be looking for a rental property. So the websites, the main ones are daft.ie, which is where I got all of this information from. Then there's rent.ie and myhome.ie as well. Also, apologies for the lighting. It's like the sunniest day here in Ireland today after being so miserable for so long. So I thought, why not sit in the sunshine? I may as well, but there is a little bit of a shine, but oh well. Okay, so moving on to the map of Galway then. So I'll pop it up probably here and we'll get a good look at everything then. So as you can see then, the Galway city is like kind of right in the middle, and then there are some larger kind of towns around it. So the larger areas include the likes of Tuam and Ballinasloe, Loughrea, Oranmore, Athenry, Gort, and then Clare Galway. So I'm going to do my best to cover a wide variety of different properties and do a variety of different areas as well, just so you get a good indication of what the renting situation is like in Galway. So a quick search then on daft.ie today has shown me that there are 83 properties listed as available to rent in County Galway at the moment. And then of this, when I narrowed down the search, about 43 of them were houses, 26 were apartments, and 11 were studio apartments. So we're going to start with Galway City first. So the first example I have is Grain Store in Abbygate Street in Galway City Centre. And this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for €2,100 per month. Then we have Bohermore in Galway City, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And this is, it says it's within walking distance to the University of Galway and also ATU. And that is for €4,500 per month. Then we have 2 Emerson Court in Emerson Avenue in Galway City. And then this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for €2,300 per month. Then we have Áras an Trá in Cushnacune in Galway City Centre, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for €2,600 per month. Then we also have St. Paul's Road in Galway City, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for €4,900 per month. Then we have Henry Street in Galway City Centre, which is a studio apartment that is €300 per week. So just bear that in mind as to whatever weeks are in a month. Some can have more, some can have less, so it may not be exactly the same per month. So then we have 11 Ardoon in Salt Hill in Galway city centre, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, which is €3,500 per month. So now I'm going to move on to Tuam. So we have, the first example is actually a house share in Tuam town centre. So it is a 3-bedroom and 3-bathroom house, but this particular one is just for one room with a private bathroom, and that is for €850 per month. So just bearing in mind that you'll probably be sharing with like 2 other people. I'm not sure if they're double or single rooms or whatever it may be, but this is just for the one room with the one bathroom for €850 per month. Then we have Bigger Beg in Tuam, which is a studio apartment, and that is €275 per week. Again, it's per week, so just be mindful of some months have more weeks than others. Then we have Apartment 1 in Sunnyside in Tuam, which is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for €1,016 per month. Moving on then, I've grouped Ballinasloe and Loughrea together. I did find a few examples for this. Now, I will say that Ballinasloe, there wasn't a huge amount listed as available, and a couple of these ones in Loughrea are also BER exempt, so I'm not sure exactly what that would mean. If it was like maybe an older house, it might be quite difficult to heat, so just bearing it in mind. I've just written this down as a note here, so I thought I may as well tell you rather than keep it to myself. So the first example we have is Killinan House in Loughrea. That is a 1-bedroom and 1-bathroom apartment for €750 per month. Then we have Lancon in Loughrea, which is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for €1,400 per month. I do apologise if I'm not pronouncing these right. My writing is very messy today and I actually can't read it. So there's a few letters here or there that I'm not very sure of. But anyway, we can move on. Then the next example I have then is Bride Street, which is in Loughrea, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for €1,400 per month. Next up then we have St. Joseph's in Ballinasloe, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for €1,500 per month. And that was it for those two. So we're going to move on now to Oranmore and Athenry. So the first example we have is School Road in Carnmore in Oranmore, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and it is €2,850 per month. Next up is 97A Renville Village in Oranmore. It is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and it is €1,600 per month. Then we have 18 Beach Grove in Oranmore, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and it is €2,950 per month. Then we have The Nook in Main Street, Oranmore, and that is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for €2,500 per month. Then we have Buckeen South in Kiltulla in Athenry, which is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and it is €1,200 per month. Then we have 37 Ard Aveen in Athenry, which is 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and that is €2,300 per month. Then we have Rockfield in Athenry, that's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for €1,850 per month. Then we have Claron in Athenry, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for €2,750 per month. And lastly for Athenry then, it's just down as Athenry Suburbs, and it is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for €1,500 per month. So to finish up then, I'm just going to go through a few random ones that I came across that are in different areas. There kind of wasn't enough all in the one spot for me to kind of group them together anymore. So I'll just do a few random ones just so you get a bit of an idea for the other areas as well. So the first one I have written down is 222 Ross on Gloss in Rahoon, which is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, and that is €1,800 per month. Then I have Lisheen Lavala in Clare Galway, which is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and it is €2,000 per month. Then we have Convent in Kinvara, which is a studio apartment, and that is €1,200 per month. We have 38 Greenfields Road in Newcastle, which is a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and that is €2,500 per month. And we have Barna then finally in Galway, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for €4,000 per month. And I've just noted down that that is specifically down as a short-term lease, and they have put down a note to say like it'd be suitable for people who maybe need somewhere to move into while they're waiting on a house to be ready if they've sold one and moving to a next one. So it is a very short-term lease. So just something to note about that. Well, that is all I have for today. Hopefully all of those have at least just given you an indication of what the prices are like in different areas of Galway. As I said, renting is pretty difficult over here in Ireland at the moment. There is quite a shortage of rental properties. They are very expensive and they do go very quickly as well. I didn't go through too much advice on renting in this video because I've done so many of these lately that I don't want to keep repeating myself in case it gets really boring. Now I know the chances are that like people aren't watching all of them, that like they'll use specific areas and stuff, but if you do want a bit of advice on that, then please just look back through some other videos, as I do go through a few things just to take note of, just for your own reference if you happen to be renting or looking to rent. So that is it from me for today. I hope you have found this useful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon for more of Our Irish Life.